welcome back to the Homesteaders channel. It's Becky. Today is June 4th and my garden is looking pretty sad in my eyes, I think. May close, I realized, and learning that things are just gonna get worse when it comes to the heat. I mean, I knew that Florida was really hot. I mean, I'm actually from Miami, Florida. But when I used to live in Miami, I never gardened. Now that I am back in Florida, in Central Florida now, and I'm in a new stage of my life where I like to grow food and flowers. And so I don't appreciate the heat as much anymore, as I just see a lot of failures in the garden so far. I feel like a lot of things are dying. I have a lot of obstacles too. I don't have drip irrigation running, which that is in the works. I don't have shade cloth, which that is in the works as well, to protect all the things that I'm growing. That will come in time as we will get things little by little. So I think because of all those things, and of course time, I mean, I try my best with that. But I feel like I set the bar too high in my mind that I feel like a little bit of a failure. I've only really harvested cucumbers at this point, and some carrots, but the corn is not doing as well as I thought. The Armenian cucumbers are not doing as well as I thought, but we'll go through everything. And I will show you what's going on, what I'm planning to do from here forward, because I have to revamp. I bought a lot of seeds back 2 years ago when we started collecting a little bit more frequently, knowing that we were going to live in Florida. And now that I'm learning more of the native plants and what grows well here while I'm here, I feel like I have to redo my seed collection in a way where it will fit Florida better. I mean, I did read 2 books about Florida gardening, which really helped me out, but I haven't really sat down and go through every single type of vegetable that would work well, which I gotta do. I have to make time for that. It's just hard. I'm just go, building everything, just putting everything out as much as I could, and just trying. So that's what I did. So today is definitely overcast all day. It is going to rain as we have a little small tropical storm passing us, so it'll be raining a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and start this garden tour and show you what is not doing well. I mean, I really want to show the transparency of a garden in Florida. 9A, zone 9A is a really, anything I think after 9, 10 gardening zones, it's really an art to grow anything that is not really made for the heat. It can be done. There's plenty of farmers here who grow all year round, all different types of things that you see in the grocery store normally. But I know with our future food forests that we have, they're going to be pretty much all native to Florida. We'll get there. It's just right now, trying to grow these annuals I'm feeling it. I mean, I could be a little bit down on myself, but I'm gonna try to stay positive as much as I can and know that it's not over. I'm gonna keep growing, even though I'm not gonna get the amount of food that I thought that I was going to get. So we can start with this trellis first. So this cucumber trellis, it didn't really grow very well. It did produce, as you see here, which I'll take some of these off. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take these off this weekend. So I'm going to take this. There's 2 cucumber plants here. There's one right here and one right here. So what I'm going to do is just harvest what's left. Let's see here. And this one's kind of not looking too hot, but I mean, you can see he's still producing. Yeah, I talked about the ant problem my last video. I am doing things, I mean, we have done things around the farm for the ant. Huge ant pile here. I use orange oil and water, which works really well, and then I put diatomaceous earth on top, and then put more landscaping fabric. But really, I mean, I've tried cinnamon, I've tried cayenne powder, but I think what works the best is the orange oil and water. But you can't put that on plants. I mean, if it's out there, I will put it like on each mound. Orange oil and water, hot boiling water works well too. I've seen, but it's just gonna be. I mean, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm careful, especially when I don't have gloves on. But yes, I'm going to take out these two plants. The bok choy is looking okay. I'm going to have to harvest some of these leaves here. They're getting eating a little bit, not too bad, but I'll go ahead and harvest this. The remaining cucumber I'm going to take out. There's 1, 2, and then this was actually just a regular cucumber plant, but it only produced like 1, which I'll take out. I'm gonna just pull this out. It's not growing anymore. It's pretty much dried up and gone. Like that. I'm gonna take out these little small ones here. I'll probably take out this. Alright, and this. Okay. There's another one right here actually. And I'm gonna add in this trellis here. I'm thinking about doing pumpkin. Now, the pumpkin that I've research that does well in Florida is the Seminole pumpkin. I'm going to get my hands on some of those seeds and I'm going to try to grow it up this trellis. So we'll see how that works. But I'm done with the cucumbers on this trellis. I went ahead and I reorganized things. These 3 watermelons here are growing okay. They have some flowers on them still. I'm going to have to fertilize more with phosphorus just because that produces more fruit. Nitrogen was helping with the leaves and just making them stronger as they were. Some of them were dying, but I was able to salvage. And now I'm just going to fertilize with more phosphorus, which is the middle number of when you get fertilizer, the NPK. You always see like 3 numbers in fertilizer: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And I'm just going to make sure that the middle number is higher than the nitrogen, the first number. And then do that with a lot of my plants here just because they need more nutrients to grow fruit. Like this little guy here. This watermelon, I'll put it up on the screen here what this is. It says smaller. It's actually supposed to be small like this. So I'm excited that at least one of those grew. And this one is actually the Garden Leader Monster is what it's called, which is that as well. This one I went ahead and I moved. It was right here. I moved it here and I trellised it up. This right here. The only thing with this one is that, I mean, the leaves are dying a little bit, but there is flowers, but a lot of them are dying, as you see here. They are failing to fruit. That's failing to fruit, and this one hopefully will. So yeah, a lot of these are dead. I'm going to feed this phosphorus rich fertilizer and see what happens. My mammoth sunflower is doing well. I really hope it doesn't flower. I hope it grows bigger. Everything flowers here so fast. It's really frustrating. The sun is just so crazy. I just hope it grows a little bit bigger. Now my squash is doing well. I took out the flowers like I showed you before, so it has grown a good amount of growth. I went ahead and if you remember, this was over here, so I just kind of moved it this way and then pushed this plant this way. I went to the store the other day and my daughter wanted these little flowers, so we just did that just to fill it in. But I'm going to put something here, not sure yet. I have to go to the drawing board and see what's going to do well in the heat. Maybe do some heat loving spinach. I want to get my hands on this spinach called like chaya and Egyptian spinach and see how that works here. So the carrots are still growing well. Haven't really fertilized them with nitrogen just because, like I showed you, I got that hairy carrot. It looks like there's too much nitrogen in the soil, but I'm just letting it be. The carrots are doing pretty well. Some of them are smaller than others just because I started them later. Like these were all started later, as you can tell, than these. But yes, carrots are doing okay. So I went ahead and this was all crazy with grass, as you see here, which I'm going to probably patch that as well. So I went ahead and covered it all with landscape fabric. It looks so much bigger now. I had bought a raised bed, a green, nice galvanized raised bed. It looks so nice. It's put together inside the house, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it out in here and finish it. I'm probably going to put it right here. It's 6 feet long, I think 3 to 4 feet wide. And that's where I'm going to put a bunch of my pollinator flowers. It's going to be like a little pollinator section here. I'm going to put a little butterfly house in the corner and then just do the raised bed here. It's going to be more for my daughter who loves growing flowers like me. We're just going to grow a bunch of flowers here. And then I'm going to just put another raised bed here on this side and grow more food. I mean, I realized that I planned out this garden and it completely changed. I'm pretty much just making up as I go and seeing what works. All right, so this, as you can see, this bed here gets a little bit more shade in the morning than anything else. So maybe that's why the peppers are doing a little bit better. I see some of the heat damage still to this pepper, as you see, but it's getting bigger. And then I also saw another pepper growing right there, so that's cool. Corn is really small. I don't know if I'm going to even keep these. I'm probably just going to rip them out just because I just know that it's just not going to grow it's not going to grow well, but I don't know. We'll see. These corn right here are growing small, but they're damaged. Definitely pests are getting it. I did take out one of those pests from in here. Yeah, I would say this is, like I said earlier, disappointment. I was expecting like a whole huge thing of corn, just filled with corn in each of these containers, and reality has set in. I'm not gonna get that. I'm not even gonna get like actual good sized corn. The corn is gonna be really small. As you see here, this is pretty much how big it's going to be. It's like my hand is bigger than the corn. But yeah, that's a corn right there. Yeah, not very much corn growing on here. There's one right there. They're going to be very small, miniature. They grew too quickly. But I'm thinking of just seeing what these produce, if they do produce any. And actually, where the chickens are, right by the chickens are on the actual 1/4 of an acre garden, like I always point out. But right next to the 1/4 acre garden, like right here, I'm gonna do a field of corn, and then probably put it under shade cloth just so it won't do this. I feel like it just grows right up real quickly without getting to a good height. So yeah, these are pretty much, I think, all failed corn. I don't even know why I continue to keep these in here, but whatever. I'm just kind of humoring myself. I did plant some beans in here, which probably gonna, I mean, it's gonna rain a lot, but I hate to see it dry like that. I planted black beans here, and I planted black beans here this week, so still needs a good amount of time to germinate. Hopefully they do. The squash here is okay, still growing very slowly though, and then these corn is growing slowly too. My beans are doing well. I have to fertilize them this week just to make sure they don't get too yellow. And this is the black beans are doing well. Long beans are doing okay. And then just the regular green bean. I am getting some calendula, and I was reading this week actually that calendula here in my zone should be grown starting the end of the year, and then you should be harvesting it in April. Of course, I just planted it, so who knows if we're gonna get anything at least worth harvesting and drying so I can make calendula oil. But hey, I mean, I'll take 1 or 2 flowers, I guess, just to enjoy. Tree's doing well. This little mini tree, but like new growth is coming up. I don't know if I should keep this and just start new. I obviously am going to take out the cucumbers from here. But here, I mean, they've been growing pretty well, even though it looks like they are dying, the plant itself. Fruit is still growing, but I might just scrap this as well and just put new cucumbers. I think I'll keep it just to see and just fertilize it a little bit more. I don't think it's a complete goner, but it looks like it kind of stopped growing right there. So these are going to be gone. This is completely horrific. It's so dry when they get all spiky like that. It's not good. So I'm going to take out this plant, and this has actually been growing well. I mean, I saved it and now it's growing up, so I'm excited. I think this is the sour gherkin, or I'll put up a picture of what I think this is, because I remember sowing the seeds, and when it got mixed up, I kind of know what the leaf structure looked like. So yeah, this is growing actually pretty well, so I'm gonna leave that. Probably just sow another plant of it, just so it can add more. I'm gonna completely take this off. It's dead, not producing anymore. Onions, I don't know if I'm gonna get even any onions since I bought these at the store, little bulbs. I really don't recommend planting those bulbs. I don't think I'm gonna do that this next year. I put potatoes in here. I need to do sweet potatoes because they grow better in Florida, but these are just regular potatoes that I got from the grocery store. Not sure, just experiment. My Cosmo flower is doing well. I cut the middle stem off just so it can branch more and give me more flowers. Raspberry bush is growing well after I staked it up, so it looks good. Blueberries, I mean, I fertilized it too with, you know, acid loving fertilizer, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna scrap it too and just buy actual blueberry bush that's already established. Trees are doing well. Apples and peaches, at least they didn't die yet. The basil is doing good after I cut the middles. It's bushing out really well. I'm excited to see my parsley doing well even with the heat, and the dill. I'm happy about the dill. I want more dill because I do so many pickles. So I'm hoping that these little plants take off. I'm probably going to do another one here and here. Just fill this up more with herbs. Sage is doing okay. Still looking a little yellow. But the thyme is doing great. So I'm hoping when this gets bigger, this can shade some of this, because this is doing so well. Grapes are growing. Definitely need to try this soon. Something's been eating it, of course. This is a blueberry bush that I got. It's doing all right. At least it hasn't died. Tomatoes are all doing well, but I feel like I do need to fertilize it with more phosphorus-based fertilizer. I'm going to stop doing the nitrogen fish fertilizer with these tomatoes just because I do have my growth that I want, greenery-wise. Now I just need more fruit. I should be, for the amount of tomatoes that I have here, I should be getting way more tomatoes. The fish emulsion was good to help it get bigger, greenery-wise, leaf-wise. But it's time to focus on fruit more. I do have my first colors coming up with these little small tomatoes, but when it comes to big beefy tomatoes, I'm not getting any. This has like, I think there are about like 10 of these plants that don't have any tomatoes that should have. So that's just because it needs more phosphorus. I'm getting maybe 4 on some of them. But like there's none on here, there's none on here. There's only 2 on there, which should be way more. This plant is big. And at least the smaller tomatoes are doing well. Nothing on here yet, nothing on here yet, nothing. So definitely going to add more marigolds, which I think they're ones that I have in my house are good to go out now. Gonna add a marigold to each one. Nothing on here, and we have 1 here. I should be getting way more. So just to cut, this is later on the day. I bought this big bag. That's like, what was it, 12-pound bag of Dr. Earth's organic tomato, vegetable, and herb fertilizer. And this is a 4, 6, and 3. Like I said, 6 is the phosphorus, which I want it to be higher than the nitrogen. Some potassium, but I wanted a lot of phosphorus for the tomatoes. So I am sprinkling a little bit in each of these. I already did all those, so hopefully this will give me some more fruit and then tomatoes. Peppers, new growth is still happening. I'm getting, there we go. I'll put it up what this row is. Looking all right. I have plans for the outside. I did cut a lot of the dahlias off just so I can make more flowers. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. I'm gonna make this more wider. I'm gonna bring it out here, do some lining, more cardboard, and just bulk it up with just flowers. And I'm gonna do that on this side, just kind of curve it, lay down some cardboard and some compost and soil. And on this side, I'm actually going to plant some banana trees on this side. Sunflowers, I mean, look, I already see a little bud here. This is what I'm talking about, that they flower too early. It's not even that big. Frustrating. At least happy that these are growing. Like, look how small this is. Like, why is this even happening right now? Like, why is this have a bud? Like, it makes no sense. Growing just too fast. So, of course, more cucumbers. Yeah, this is something better than nothing. Stupid ant. Yeah, something better than nothing, right? At least we got some cucumbers. Now, maybe I'm just feeling a little bit down on myself because I just feel like nothing's really taken off, but I just know that there are, like I said earlier, all those obstacles that I have. The realization that obviously I'm not in Washington State anymore, but I need to really zone in to what grows well here more. I thought I was, but I just have to take it a little bit further. Our plans for this area, I'm going to show you an example right now. What we're thinking about, well, we're going to do, my husband is going to be building this type of structure around this little garden here, and then with that structure we're going to be putting at least 30% shade cloth on top. So I'm hoping that with that it will help whatever I grow in here. I'm already just kind of cutting my losses at this point and planning for the fall already. I'm gonna just sit down to the drawing board and get a head start on what I can do well in the fall. I started the garden February, around February-ish. I started seeds. I missed the last winter, fall season because I just moved here on Thanksgiving last year. So now I'm excited to have the opportunity to grow starting the fall and grow garlic, things like garlic, plan ahead for all the flowers that I want to grow. By then I'll have some drip lines ready. I'm excited to finally get things in place to make my life easier and less disappointing when it comes to the garden. I'm going to be selling these grow bags little by little as I'm going to put raised beds, kind of like those galvanized raised beds throughout, and kind of transition it out while I start picking off the things. So that's the goal. And cover, like I said, cover this with black landscape fabric. Just start fresh. So my projects for today is definitely putting that raised bed in, putting some soil in it, putting some of those flowers, ripping out those cucumbers, putting some seeds in there, probably direct seeding, or I'll just start seeds inside pumpkin, cucumber, and just do more research on what I can fit. Thank you again for joining me on the garden tour. Please say hello in the comments. I love communicating with fellow gardeners or anybody who is interested in this stuff. It's so cool to interact and learn from other people with this platform. It's really cool and I enjoy it. So please go ahead and say hello in the comments. I'll see you guys next week for another video. Everyone, stay well.